The $5 flea market book that became a $18,000 treasure. Can you even imagine it? We've all had that fantasy. You're wandering through a dusty flea market, a local car boot sale, or maybe just cleaning out your own attic. You stumble across an old box, and inside, beneath some forgotten blankets, is something. An old painting, a piece of jewelry, or maybe just a book. You brush off the cover, pay a few dollars, and take it home, thinking nothing of it. For most of us, that's where the story ends. It becomes a neat little decoration on a shelf. But for one woman who visited the Antiques Roadshow, that fantasy became a heart-stopping reality. It's the kind of moment we all tune in to see, the unbelievable discovery, the gasp, and the life-changing valuation that comes from the most unexpected place. This particular story unfolded back in the early 2000s, when the beloved show, a US spin-off of the British classic, set up camp in Texas. People from all over brought their family heirlooms and curious finds, all hoping to hear that their item was special. One guest, a loving mother, stepped up to the books and manuscripts table with a well-loved, but otherwise ordinary-looking children's book. She placed it gently on the table for expert Francis J. Walgren to examine. Francis, an appraiser with a keen eye for literary treasures, began with the classic Roadshow question, "Where did you find this?" The woman's answer is what makes this story so incredibly touching. It wasn't a precious family heirloom passed down for generations. It was something far more personal. "I actually just got this book out of our attic," she began. But the story of how it got into the attic is where the magic lies. "When my daughter was young," she explained, her voice filled with nostalgia, "we found Anne of Green Gables on PBS, and once we found that, we fell in love." You can just picture it, can't you? A mother and her daughter curled up on the sofa, completely captivated by the fiery, imaginative, and wonderful Anne Shirley. It's a core memory, the kind that sticks with you forever. "My daughter was about 10 years old when we started reading the Anne of Green Gables series," she continued. "And then at a flea market I saw this book and I thought, perfect, we'll take it." It was an impulse buy. A simple, loving gesture to share something special with her daughter. When the expert asked her what she paid for it, she almost laughed, replying, "I don't think it was any more than $5. It's only a book." Famous last words. The expert, Francis J. Walgren, held the book with a reverence that suggested it was much, much more than just a book. He knew he was holding something special. He began to peel back the layers of its history. "It was written in 1908 by Lucy Montgomery," he explained. He then painted a picture of the world at that time, a world that makes this book's existence so significant. "There were really a lot of boys' books up to that time," he said. "Think of the bookshelves of 1908, filled with Treasure Island or Huckleberry Finn. These were stories of grand adventures, shipwrecks, and pirates, almost exclusively starring boys. But that," he said, tapping the cover, "was one of the first girls' books of the day. And it wasn't just a girl's book, it was the girl's book. It starred a protagonist who was smart, flawed, imaginative, and incredibly real. Anne Shirley wasn't a passive character, she was the hero of her own story. Because of that," the expert continued, "it had a great audience, it took off, and the series followed. It's just one of the most beloved girls' books ever written, and it really means a lot to people. But its popularity is exactly what makes first editions so vanishingly rare." He explained the publisher's dilemma. Because it is a first edition book, they often didn't print many copies. Why? Because the publishers aren't sure if this thing is going to take off. They had no idea they had a global phenomenon on their hands. They printed a small, cautious batch. "It turns out," Francis said, "it was a huge success and everybody wanted the book. But to get a true first edition was very difficult." This is the moment the guest starts to realize she might have more than just a $5 flea market find. You can see the flicker of shock and hope in her eyes. So how could he be sure this was one of those rare original copies? This is where the expert's knowledge becomes a treasure hunt. He gently opened the cover and turned to the title page, pointing out the key features that make a collector's heart pound. "The book is dated on the title page 1908, he pointed out. "That's good. But the real proof, the smoking gun, was a small line of text." He zeroed in on it, and here it says, "First impression, April 1908. Francis looked up at the guest. a serious look on his face. That's very important, he stressed, because it marks it as the true first edition, and for a collector,